majority, like that's not the most pertinent part of the call. So, well,
Well,
if
I'm
you're
gonna just
recording
go
them,
for
oh
it.
well, there you
Because
go.
I don't want to forget to hit record and that just bite me in the butt. So I'm just gonna
Oh, I
take
would
care
have
of it now.
reminded you either way, so that's totally fine. That's totally fine. So, all right, all right, all right. Well, good Sunday, team. I hope that you guys are doing well and had an amazing weekend. Hopefully, it was a relaxing and a productive one as well. I go by the name of Luke. If you guys don't know me, I hope you guys know me by now. So I want to quickly go through the announcements of the company that we got going on, and then after that, I will give the floor to the lovely Ashleigh. So a quick reminder that for the remainder of the month for a Control Freak, you still get the 20% off the challenge pack, right? And you can find all those information on FAQ 2026. And also about 2 weeks ago, there was the 9-week Control Freak of the Wall that was launched. You know, this is the version that doesn't require all the equipment. Blair is so excited about it, which is a good thing.
I can see that.
And so for that one, we are getting the information on FAQ 9100. I'm not sure if the 20%, I mean, if the $20 off is for both packages. That I couldn't find that information on that, but I will have to figure that one out. And once I do that, I make sure to drop a comment once you send the recording of that video tonight. It's still Team Cup. Today is the 21st, so there are 7 days left. So this is the little sprint that we got going on. So this week, just go all out. Make sure to like ready the troop and just go as hard as you possibly can and like score some points and just throw yourself out there and do something that you didn't think you would be able to actually accomplish. Speaking of Success Club, this is also like a month where Beachbody doubles the points in terms of the people that want to get involved with the Success Club trip. You know, for like every point, it counts double. And this is an amazing trip where a lot of us have gone to, and it is just an amazing time with all the teams. I would strongly advise you. There's still time to get yourself out there. At the beginning of the month, there was a free sample that was released for the program Unstressed. This is the meditation program that Beachbody has, and I can speak on it for someone who really, I don't want to say despised meditation, but for someone that thought that meditation was not for me, I have benefited greatly from it. So I would strongly, guys, advise you, if you ever need a way to just calm yourself and just be with yourself and just allow your thoughts to wander around and just be focused on yourself, try that program. You won't regret it. And you can find all the information for all the free sample and the totality of the program at FAQ 13563. And also this month, we have a sale for all the Beachbody apparel. So all the cool gear that like you see, I mean, the great outfits that you see all the super trainer wear, it's available on our Beachbody store. So feel free to check it out. And with that being said, my announcements are done. And I'm going to give the floor to Ashleigh. I don't know, do I got to introduce you again?
I don't think so. These,
You
I know everyone here. I'm cool if you guys are cool. I think that's the most nerve-wracking part.
What, the introduction?
Yeah.
No, man, they are so easy to do. Well, at least for me, because I take the time to get to know the people. So it's easy for me to just introduce people. But go ahead, Ashleigh, take it away. They all know you.
I'll take the reins. All right, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna start the screen share. Let's figure this out. Okay, here we go. Let's see if all right. You guys can see it okay? Perfect. You can hear me okay? Perfect. Okay, we're good. We are good. Now the only thing I've lost, I think, is the chat, but we'll figure that out. That's the only thing I don't like. How can I see the chat here? Or I can't. Is that an option? Does anyone know? Luke, you're off. I can't hear you. Sorry.
That yeah, I always do that. I'm sorry. Um, when you wiggle actually like your mouse, you should be able to see the actual window of your share screen, and this is where like the drop menu shows up as to what your options are.
Oh, okay. But I don't see the chat. Oh, there we go.
Or it should
Got
be
you.
on the
All
bottom
right.
maybe.
I'm
You see
still
it?
learning, obviously.
Well, see, this is what happens when like you move to like Apple products. I'm sorry. I had to say.
Oh,
I had to
ouch.
say
I was thinking the same thing.
No.
see,
Okay.
Nini, Nini, this is why me and you, man, I'm right there with you, fam.
It's
I'm
still
right
a
there
learning
with you.
curve, you guys. It's still a learning curve over here.
Hmm.
All
Hmm.
right. So you guys know me. I've been a coach now for, it's coming up, I think will be my third year towards the end of this year signing up, which has just been so crazy. Like, yeah, the magic 3, right? And it's just been such this community, especially this last year, like really leaning into everyone. I'm so happy to be here, and I've seen such tremendous growth as I've been able to step away from the ballroom hat and try on other hats in my life, like stepping more into the coaching role with public speaking, just trying to figure out who else I am outside of that role. And it's been challenging, but it's been a beautiful experience. So happy to be here with you guys. So I've been hugely into personal development, as most of you know. I've been really trying to fit that 15 minutes a day. I would ideally love to get to 30 minutes a day, but 15 minutes is doable to me, and I'm pushing the 20. We're getting there. We're getting there. But 15 minutes a day I can hold on to. And one of the books, actually, Nini recommended, was a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And it was an awesome book. It was long. It was long as all hell. But I actually don't have it in here with me, but it's pretty thick. It's pretty detailed, but it's absolutely amazing. And I'm going to give you guys like kind of like my overview of the book and going over the 7 habits. A lot of it, which we're going to find out, does kind of coincide with what Beachbody's motto is and how we grow as people, how we grow as coaches. So it really just falls in line with the message that Stephanie, Luke, and the team, all the leaders, share. So habit number 1 is all about being proactive. A lot of people that we may know in our life are reactive people. These types of people like to spend their time in the circle of concern. Like they're all worried about everything that's going out, in the outside world. And they love to complain. They love to talk about, maybe politics or things like, and it's not that they can't like complain about that stuff or talk about it or have it really affect them. It's the fact that they stay there and they never really think or seek out to change, right? They just like to stay in that victim mentality. So they're affected by the physical environment. And this is probably one of my best scenarios that the book gives. And is that when the weather's bad, they're in a bad mood. When the weather's good, they're in a good mood. Like, I think that's the best example of how to describe reactive people. They have the negative language of I can't, I have to, like I have to go to work, or if only this. And it's just really the blame game and that victim mentality. A proactive person, and this is where I think we're all truly trying to be and live in this space, is spend our time in the circle of influence. Like I mentioned, like things might be going on around the world that suck, like having to be locked inside and, having to maybe being quarantined or lost your job or, having to go to work, or maybe you work in a hospital. Like sometimes that can suck, but you spend your time focusing on what changes you can make. What can you control? we create our own weather, right? Being in a proactive person. It doesn't matter what's going on out there. We bring our own weather to the party, if you know what I mean. Like we have, balloons, sunshine, and confetti all the time. Our language is different, right? We say, I can, I will, I prefer. We have more positive language, and we just freaking take responsibility for our own life. We choose to take responsibility. We're not blaming our parents. We're not blaming our siblings. We're not blaming our upbringing. We can all change that. It's a choice. So your life is designed by you and the choices you make, hands down. So how does this affect, or how does this relate to our business? I want you guys to put some ideas or thoughts in the chat if you don't mind. Or if you want to speak, we can have people speak too. That's fine too. But I think for me, I think being a proactive, positive person is just more attractive, right? I think it's going to attract people into your life or into your tribe, into your team. Proactive means we're planning ahead and don't let outside things affect our business and working on our business. Positive language, exactly. And this is just, it's going to not only improve our quality of life, but it's going to bleed out into others as well. It's like that, being the light travels so much quicker, right? So no, that's great. Okay. I want you guys to be interactive as much as possible. I love people talking. I love the art of communication. So anything that you guys have to say, I definitely welcome it. All right. Take responsibility equals ownership. Exactly. You attract your tribe. 100%. Awesome. Okay. So we're going to go into habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. Having that mental creation first, then the physical can manifest. One of the videos I was watching, one of the guys was like, think about going to a funeral, but this funeral's different. It's your own. What would you say about yourself? I know that's kind of a dark question, but what would you say about yourself? Are you doing things in your life that align with what you want to be able to say? I was like, oh, dang. That kind of really puts it in perspective. All right, Anisha says being afraid to post or show up because of the possible opinions of others over creating your own culture and showing up every day because you're in control. Yes. Yep. Exactly. Yep. So what are you doing now versus what you want to be able to say is really, really, really big. Are you do you want to be a great mom? Do you want to be a badass partner, right? To your spouse? Am I a courageous business owner? Are these things that you want to say? We have someone coming in. Awesome. And then these are the things that you want to be. So then it goes a step further. So what are you doing to make those things come to life? Are you showing up from work, walking in and just complaining about your day to your spouse and that's really negative energy. That's just oh my God, that's a bomb coming off. I did it in my previous marriage. I was just it wasn't about the other person. It was just about me complaining about my day. Versus, are you taking the time to decompress in your car before you take that, work hat off and then put the spouse hat back on and think about that person, right? And this is just I'm just randomly grabbing examples. It's just really being intentional about who you want to be and what you want to create. And I thought that, and this was in the book, these questions, asking what am I best at? Brings self-awareness. What I feel I need to do brings that consciousness, right? And then what would I do if I had no limits brings in the imagination of the mind. And I thought that was really cool how it brought those 3 things, in the forefront. And I love the what am I doing versus what I'm going to say. So how does this relate to our business? Another thing, the reason why I put these pictures here is I was thinking really about the vision board process that maybe some of us went through in January. Why did we do that? This is the exact thing. Begin with the end in mind. Know what you want to accomplish. Start with the why, then the how will all fall into place, right? But what do you guys think? How does this relate to our business? This is like coaching because we don't have any limits. The only thing limiting us is ourselves. Yep, exactly. And we'll actually be touching more on that in some other habits coming up. This allows us to build our business based on our desires, not on what we think we see of others. That's another thing we're going to touch up on, Nini, you know, how we can cast a vision for what we want to accomplish in the month of Tea Cup. Exactly. Not comparing a roadmap to what we want. Exactly, you guys. Exactly. All right, moving on. Habit 3, putting first things first. So this is actually now taking habit 1 and habit 2 together to bring into habit 3. So I want you guys to put in the chat, we're just gonna have a little fun here. What's the most important thing to you right now? What's your number 1? You can put a couple things if you want. I'll let it slide. We have time for this. Personal peace, faith and family. So one of the things that I've learned that I put first is myself first. So I fill my cup first. And then I have my family and then my work. Luke says sleep, nutrition, and work. Yep. Awesome. So most people do say these things, right? Like health, family, relationships, the inner peace, morning routine. Yes, filling the cup first. But we never say organizing papers, watching TV, staying late at work. But unfortunately, and I'm not saying anyone here, but I'm saying unfortunately, a lot of people have a huge disconnect from what they say that's first versus what they're doing. Like, you know, like it's kind of really messed up and how disconnected we actually really are from those things. We don't prioritize. So we have to really think about what do we do versus what do we say. So it's important to prioritize, take the time for time management, life management. And like, as I mentioned, this is where really taking the habits 1, which is choice, and the habits 2, which is vision, and bringing it together into the physical, right? So how does this relate to our business? I think it's really once we set those goals and then we set those habits every day, right? I personally think consistency is key in making time for the business. Yes, I think of the business activity tracker, hands down. You know, working towards that every day. I mean, it's laid out for us, right? Anyone else have anything else that they can think of? Setting up systems to make it easy. Exactly. Systems is huge. Take actions on our goals and vision set for ourselves. Exactly. It's all about that action. Awesome. Awesome. You guys are so good at this. It's all that personal development, you know, we're doing. Okay. So habit number 4 is thinking my morning routine helps me stay in control. Blair, definitely. Hands down. Morning routine, meditation. Like, I don't know what I would do. And I don't know if anyone's like gone a period of time without doing their morning routine. Like a couple days, I'm like, what happened? I'm like so out of whack. I'm like, I gotta go back to basics. I remember my boyfriend, he's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I know what's wrong. I didn't do this morning. Anyway. All right, habit number 4, think win-win. It's all about, as Rachel was saying, like having the abundance mentality that's so important to creating success. Everything is all available to us. And that being a balance between courage and consideration is a huge thing, and it's hard. But most of us base our self-worth on comparison and competition. I've been a victim of that for sure, especially in this business. We're looking at the top coaches. What are they doing? And we get clouded and thinking we should do that instead of what we're doing. And, we lose ourselves in some aspects. And it has this, if I win, you lose. And if you win, I lose mentality. I mean, look at the sports industry, right? I mean, that's a huge influence in our country. I mean, it like tops everything, right? And we're not really, I feel like we're almost not set up for community. And I think this is where I love our community, and I really love the Beachbody team that we have and Team Healthy Are You. We want to build ourselves as leaders that find agreements and solutions that are mutually beneficial for everyone. We got to celebrate everyone, right? We all have our own story. It's worth sharing, is what I have to tell myself daily to be comparison. Exactly. Rachel, I know exactly where you're at. The comparison game is strong. Yep. I think we're all there. We want to be in those, top 10, but we really have to dig deep down and find our true uniqueness, what separates ourselves from them, not to be like them. That's a whole topic here. So it talks about, the book talks about 3 characteristics of a win-win leader. That's integrity, sticking with your true values, feelings, and commitments to not only yourself, but your team and your family, all that. Maturity, and being able to express your ideas and feelings with courage and consideration for the other ideas and feelings of other people, right? And then the abundance mentality, truly believing there is plenty to go around for everybody. Especially one of my limiting mindsets is around money. And I'm still having to go there's enough for everyone. There's, that kind of goes back to childhood, and I'm trying to work things out with that. But there really truly is enough for everyone to go around. There really is. So how do you guys think this, I kind of, touched up on a few things, but how do you think this habit relates to our business? A quote I say the other day was, girls compare themselves to other women. Oh, girls compare themselves to other, and women lift each other up. Yeah. Yep. I love that. That's why I always say I'm a queen versus a princess. I feel like, I don't know why I have a different mentality between those two. Carrie, my boyfriend, called me a princess. I was like, oh, hell no. I was like, I'm a queen here. Sorry if some of you relate to the princess thing. I don't. My money mindset is a struggle. Mine too, Blair. Mine too. But there truly is enough to go around. I think the win, just what Rachel was saying, is we truly want to lift each other up. We pull each other up with us, right? We don't push people down. Inviting we have something to offer, not selling. Exactly, Nini. Everyone should be a part of a community, a group, whether it's ours, my team, your team, we're all a part of this team, right? But we have different connections to meet different people's needs. And it kind of takes me back to teaching. I always say this to my clients, my students. We have coaches come in and teach our students. And I always say someone has, at every level, at different dances, we all have different values. We all have different key nuggets to get to our students in different ways that we may be able to, that I might be able to, right? And I know Luke for sure can agree with this, is everyone has something valuable to offer. They may say something slightly different that, triggers somebody to then be like, oh, now I understand. And you're like, I've been telling you that 5 million times. Why did it take one person to say it in a different way? But that's the beauty of having a team. It takes a tribe. Everyone learns differently. Exactly. All right. So we're going into habit number 5. This is a big one. Seek first to understand. Communication is the most important skill in life. And this is definitely something I feel we all have to work on. We spend years, think about this, we spend years learning how to read, how to write, how to speak, but we never really learn about listening. We don't. We really don't. And I remember like so many times, especially in like class, the class atmosphere, or if you guys have been to like a BNI group where you're having to introduce yourself, you have your like 30-second commercial. The person that goes before you, you don't hear a freaking word they're saying, because you're thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to start this? How am I going to connect with these people? And you're just like, wait, what did that guy say? It doesn't matter. And then, you're saying your speech and the, person next to you doesn't know what you're saying because they're, freaking out about their own 30-second commercial or 60-second commercial, whatever it is. So same thing with class. When you had your little section to read, you were probably proofreading it and didn't hear the other person read, right? Because we're just so wrapped up in our own world, how we're going to sound, how we're going to come off, right? We listen to the intent to reply more so than we listen to understand. We listen to ourselves with what we're going to say next, only hearing a part of the conversation, or it not at all, as I was just explaining. We filter everything through our own experiences, through our own ears. And consequently, that we decide prematurely what the other person's going to say. And this prevents the real connection. This prevents the real, listening or helping solve their problems. We have a solution, but we have a huge library, right? We want everyone to have it all, but it may just only be one part that really serves them. So are you really listening to what they need, what they want? I kind of just gave it away. But how do you guys think this relates to our business? Seek first to understand. Maybe you have a different perspective, or maybe a different angle of this business. How does this relate? We're taught to listen, to be able to ask questions back, to write a story or paper about it. We went to school. Oh, nice. I bet that was hugely beneficial, Rachel, that you went for journalism. Yeah. No, definitely. It's having those really important questions to ask. I think that that's really key. The fool speaks, the wise man listens. Definitely. Definitely. We got to enjoy those pauses, right? To make sure the other person's done. We don't, there's a lot in silence. Yep. This deals with building a connection with prospects. Exactly. Exactly. Good. Awesome. All right. Habit number 6. We offer solutions to the issues. Exactly. We need to listen in order for us to offer them something of value. Exactly. This is how we find their pinpoints, not ours. Yes. Yes. Awesome. All right. You guys are so smart. All right. Habit number 6, synergize. I love this word. I don't know why. Maybe because it goes with energize. We all love our energize. I do. I'm addicted to that stuff. But this is all about teamwork, right? 2 heads are better than 1. The habit of creative cooperation. These are big words. So it's about having that teamwork with open-mindedness, finding new solutions to old problems. It's bringing everyone's unique experiences and backgrounds, our diversity, together to do way more than what we ever could have done alone. Diversity should be celebrated. It needs to be celebrated because this is where we get creative and fun and bring new ideas and just maybe just a different perspective than the top 10, right? And we'd be the new top 10 going up there. I love this African proverb. If you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And this is what this team is all about. And you have to ask yourself, do you truly value the mental and emotional differences of others? Do you truly value that? Or do you wish others would just agree with you so we all could get along? I fell victim to saying that. I'm like, why can't they just agree with me? Like, I don't, I mean, I've fallen victim. It'd just be so much easier that way. You see, I got to work on some of these habits too. No, but no, the differences definitely should be seen as strengths, not as weaknesses. And I love this because it adds the zest to life. It would suck, honestly, if everyone was the same, and I think everyone would agree. So how does this relate to our business, you guys? How does this relate? Especially in this team of diversity. We have so much diversity on this team. It's so awesome. It's so awesome. What are your thoughts? We learn from one another and learn new things from others. Luke, Team Cup. He's all about Team Cup. Team Cup, teamwork. Work with the team and get to know everyone better. Exactly. Yep. Now that Rachel's here, and I know Blair and Anisha were a part of it as well, we just did a 2-week free group. And it was so fun to work with different coaches and see how everyone works differently, or how they explain different stuff, or what they're into. Like Erica did a TikTok. She, collaborated a bunch of us doing some kind of the ding, 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 that dance. I'm sorry, I just sang. But yes, team calls. Exactly. This is how we synergize. This is how we get all our energy together. Awesome. All right. And the last habit, which is all about what we're doing, is sharpening the saw. So we got to preserve the assets we have. This is what Beachbody is all about. That song is Savage Love. I don't think it's Lobe, but Love. That's funny. Yes. It's by Jason Derulo, right? Yeah. But sharpening the saw. So we have 4 areas of self-renewal, right? This is the filling up the cup part. We have the physical. This is where we're eating healthy, we're exercising, we're resting. Rest days are just as important. Just putting a note on there, more for myself. The social emotional aspect. This is having meaningful connections with others. Our team call, our team cup, right? This is so important to have in our life. Having that tribe, that like-minded tribe, right? Reading this habit made me realize I was in the right tribe. Oh, it's so cute. I love it. All the love. All right, and then we have the mental side of stuff, where we're learning, we're reading, we're writing, we're teaching, right? Then we have the spiritual side of things, is spending time in nature, the meditation, Beachbody, right? Music, art, prayer, acts of service. These all preserve the assets that we have in our body, right? That gift that we have. And this creates the growth and change in our life. So how does this relate to our business? Boom. It's basically the vital behaviors. It is. It really is. We need all of these things to be successful. Yep, exactly. We all need to take care of what's in here first. Yep. So this is the shortened version of this book, you guys. And just to recap for those of you that kind of came in, these are the 7 habits of highly effective people. It's by Steven Covey. The book's somewhere. I highly recommend it. It's kind of like a workbook in the first part of it, which is kind of cool. It has some writing assignments, like thinking about, like if you went to your own funeral, and what would you what would you say about yourself? Like, it kind of goes deep into those things, which is really cool. Yeah. Mine looks different. You see mine right there? So funny. There's so many versions of it. It's been around forever. It's just one of those classics that you should read over and over again. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much. Any questions? I'm going to stop the share. Any questions at all? It was fun. Thank you guys for interacting and being a part of it. I know Luke's coming on.
what would you say was the hardest part in reading this book in terms of like not only learning about yourself, but making the effort to implement that in your daily life?
Mine, the hardest part for me, honestly, was those questions of imagination. The imagination was the hardest part for me, was thinking about if I had no limits, if I had no like unlimited resources, like what would I want to do? That was hard. That was the hardest part for me. And I have the piece of paper somewhere. I wrote it down and it was like the shortest, it was the shortest here actually. So here's the questions. I answered all the questions, but you see how short this one was? It was like, and I got kind of disturbed by it. I was just like, dang. So I can see myself like going back and reading it often. So thanks, Nini, for that recommendation, by the way.
I literally just finished it myself. Like
Did
it
you?
took me a couple months because it was long. It was a lot of information, a lot of thinking, and I really wanted to like consume it. It's definitely something I will be holding on to and rereading over and over. I didn't really answer the questions, so the next time I'll like actually answer the questions and be very interactive because it does make a difference.
It does. Yeah, it's the actions, right? Habit 3.
For me, it's like facing that. Like facing the reality of answering those questions and really digging deep,
Yeah, it's hard. It's not easy work at all, but it's what's necessary for us to get past those walls, right? And sometimes it takes more than a book. It takes reading it like multiple times, years, months. Like it's constantly peeling back those layers. Yeah, it takes a lot of time. Luke, that was a great question. Thanks for asking that.
Oh, there's plenty more where where that come from.
Yeah. So you've read it. What would you say was one of the most challenging, difficult things, I guess?
Well, I have two that come to mind, and actually the second one was going to be a question that I was going to ask you. But one of the hardest, number one, is the power of imagination. I think that sometimes when you think of a goal or you try to envision something, it is very easy, at least for me, to doubt myself in terms of like, am I thinking big enough or am I thinking too big? And then you really start to analyze what your imagination is, which is really not what the goal of imagination really is.
No.
Like just let your brain roam free, and then you go from there. But then you start to analyze if the goal was okay or if the dream was big enough. And then you got to go into like the reversing engineering of it all, and then I just self-sabotage. So that was like one of the hardest ones.
Does anyone else have struggle with the imagination part? Like thinking unlimited, like dreams and goals okay, so we're all in the right track.
That is one of the biggest one. And the second one I would say is the win-win. Sometimes the win-win is just not, and there's so many different like examples that where it applies, but to me overall that one is like one where like I struggle at times, even in the situation right now when I'm like, like I have that level of success, but I'm like, is this really like the right way to go about it? So I would say those two were like the biggest one, and I find myself going back to those two no matter how many times I reread this book. That seems to be not really a theme. I hope to not make it a theme, but I find myself like being drawn to those two for the most part.
Yeah. I would say my second one is the listening better.
Why?
Because I rather dance in front of people than speak. So it's more so on the big group settings, right? Or in front of a class, or it's just the public speaking is something I've had to try and overcome. So just going off on a whim and letting, like, that's why I'm asking people to, you know, interact with me and communicate, because I do better with like one-on-one. Right. So it's, yeah, it's not, it doesn't matter how I say it, what I say, like whatever. It's like, but just listen to the, you know, listen first. Right. Like, I don't know. So that's one of my struggles because of that fear of public speaking. You guys can see my cheeks are red still.
So, hey,
It's getting
look,
better. It's getting better.
look, since it's family, I'm just gonna call you out on something that like you just said. You just said right now, come and interact with me. Should you be the one being proactive and go and interact with others?
Yeah. Well, I am here, right? But I'm also saying
Okay.
it's open for interaction.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you're right. I
To
like
ask
it. I like it.
The question that I wanted to ask you was this one. As you reflect on your humble beginnings with coaching, what was the moment, or when did you feel like, I feel like I need to lean more onto the team and connect more and get to know the people that make this team, or the people that we have in our whole entire downline?
What was the moment?
Yeah, what was the moment, or like what was the trigger? What made you decide I gotta lean more on the team?
I mean, honestly, it was me losing my job. I couldn't teach anymore. And teaching, I mean, for those that may or may not know, like the arts in general, it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. I mean, in any career, but I say more so to be able to, you know, I was able to pay my own bills on my own. Like that's a huge success as an artist. Like I'm just saying, as a dancer, it took me a long time. Even after my divorce, I felt like I had to kind of start over. I had to have the roommate. I had to, you know, slowly build. And I got to that point where I was like, this is paying my bills. Awesome. And I had coaching to fall back on. But it wasn't until I lost that job that I was like, I need this team. I need it for my sanity. I need the community. I was stuck in my apartment at the time by myself. Like, I'm like, how I need, and I want to grow this. I want to diversify my income more, because my main income was gone. It was completely gone, and it still is. So that was the moment where I was like, this is it for me to level up and grow as a person. And I need to lean in on this community to do that.
What would you say are your benefits? Like what benefits have, like can you really, I don't want to say quantify, but what are the benefits that you have witnessed between the Ashleigh that was doing like her own thing or being on her own versus the Ashleigh being part of the team? What would you say the differences are? If there are more than one.
In what aspect? And like,
You pick whichever aspect you want.
I've been humbled. I'll say that. Okay. And there was, how do I say this? Like, I felt comfortable being a dance instructor. Leaning in on this community and leaning in on becoming a better coach, leaning in on becoming and having a better communication and connection with the people under me and my team. It taught me to level up. It taught me to learn things that weren't so great, right? I know I can be better. We always can be better. So this just really pushed me to just be a better person, be a better coach, explore other hats that I could wear. So I would say it humbled me a lot. And here I am doing a team call, my second one, which is crazy. You know, Nini has been, she's one of my coaches, and it's just been amazing seeing her and being there more and seeing the interaction in our group, our fitness group, and doing more. And like every Saturday I'm hosting Saturday workouts, which I didn't have time for. Like, so I'm just seeing other people really enjoying the group more because I stepped more into that leadership role. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thanks for asking those hard questions.
They're not hard questions.
Well, it's being vulnerable, right? It's those can be hard questions.
It's always about giving perspective. That's one thing that when Stephanie and I were talking about in terms of leadership, we definitely want everybody else to be able to see the perspective of the people talking. And why I always like to use the word team or the word family is because the more you take the time to know who's who does what, and what they got going on and what their gifts are, then you realize exactly how you are able to utilize those family members for the greater good. Or sometimes those other people are able to see something in you or something that you do not see that makes your coaching life and career a lot more fun and a lot more productive.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
That.
Yeah, having this time leaning into this community, like I'm doing TikTok. Like what the what? Like, you know you're in the world when you're doing TikTok.
Right.
Oh my gosh, so funny. Anyway.
Can I say, I think leaning in also helps you realize that although this is your business that you're responsible for, you're not expected to do it alone.
Mm-mm.
You know, we're a team. That's the whole synergy part of it, you know. And I realized that when you guys invited me to you know, open up to you and saw like, hey, this is just not, it's just not like her, like, and we care, you know, we really do care. And that's why I said like habit 7 was my favorite one. That's what made me lean in, because it was literally, I noticed it was everything that we encompassed as a team, as a team ourselves, and an overall big universal team. And it was just like, why wouldn't I lean in more? It's only going to push me to be better and better. And I think it's funny you mentioned me with the book, because yeah, I brought it up, but I started reading it after you because I saw you reading it and you leaning into it.
We helped each other there.
Yeah.
She was just gonna drop the book and then just leave. Like, no, we gotta read it.
I was like, drat, now I gotta read it. Like, no.
Yeah. That's like the unwritten
Careful what you ask
like,
for, right?
But like, you rarely recommend a book you didn't read yourself. Like, you never do that. Never do that.
It's funny, full circle here, full circle. Awesome. Level up and lean in. That's what this community is about, for sure. Awesome. Well, thank you for the opportunity, for, you know, letting me share my personal development journey and what I got out of it, and hopefully it helped you guys. So, oh yeah, should we do a picture? Rachel, I saw she was on it.
Yeah, Rachel's
on it all the time.
One over here. What?
I know. Are we doing it?
Rachel, what is it? Is it a video, a picture, or boomerang? What is it?
We can do a boomerang.
It's all about the movement, man.
Okay, boomerang. Hey. Let me know where we go.
3, 2, 1.
Oh my goodness.
I love it.
Thank you so much for being part of the team call. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your Sunday and weekend, and get ready for an amazing week of work and amazing stuff. And until next time, peace.
Bye, everybody.
Good job.
Thank you.